Let's get this party started. Let me log in here. Na, na, na. Who's got the thumbs up? Edward. Man, you beat even me. Man. How you doing, brother? Doing good? Man, I just got off work. Try to get some stuff already situated over here, but man, I'm going to try something different today. See if I have a clip to play for you guys. You guys should be able to hear it better. Hey, Omar, how are you, buddy? Welcome. I'm going to test my audio here. Oh, there we go. I'm going to test my audio here. Oh, there we go. All right, we got two of you. Oh, Irma. Hello, Irma. How are you? Let's see if we get Miguel and Trinity up in here. I saw Steven Crowder destroy Joe Walsh on Piers Morgan's show. Oh, man, I missed that one. I've been listening to other stuff. It's taking all money hours. Should email you more info, Dennis. I'm fine. Nice to see you. Good to know. I was going to look up at a poll from New York about about Mandani. I think these polls, I don't know, they might be true, but I don't know if there's any cheating going on in there. Bella Rose, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. Crazy things are happening in our country. You guys already heard by now that we have another sniper shooting. What's really weird about it, and I don't know what to make of it, but from what I heard from the reports, it's they were shooting at ICE agents, but they only hit some of the people that were being deported, or whatever. It wasn't ICE agents that got hit. So we don't know what's going on with that. Adam says, what's crazy? That's normal over here. I feel you, brother. I feel you. I know what you mean, man. Which is crazy, right? It's become the norm. That's what's wrong. That's what's bad about it. It has become the norm. We don't want that. Not in our country. This is why we are, I think a lot of people now, we are setting up our YouTube channel, social media, and we out there doing these lives to have that communication with people. Hey, Jackson, how are you? I will say, if we get any young people in here, now this is not a channel made for kids, but if you are old enough to come into this live chat, I want to say welcome, in that I'm hoping that you're hitting those books really hard in school and learning as much as you can so that you can become the greatest next generation of our time. Freethinker says, did you watch the Jimmy Kimmel show? No, I didn't, but I did watch a clip of his fake remorse. I shouldn't even say that. I feel bad. I shouldn't say fake remorse. I think I say that because I'm a little disappointed that he didn't actually say, I'm sorry I caused that problem. I'm sorry that I may have caused some pain or etc. You know, he didn't apologize, which I'm sure that was on purpose. That's no news to me. So in a way, I kind of feel bad about it because I don't know. He seemed like he was almost crying, which I get emotional myself, so I know how that goes. Um, I tried watching his show before years ago. I just didn't think he was funny. I feel he had no talent. And if he was faking the cry today, that's probably his best performance because I actually almost felt bad for the guy. But yeah, people think that it's because we're MAGA or what. No, it's not. I try to watch Colbert as well. I'm telling you, I don't see anything funny about these guys. Now, there is a lot of, hey, John, how are you? Welcome. Mike, how are you? God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. They're just not funny. And I think that the only thing they got going for them is that there is a lot of Democrats and leftist people that still think it's funny to put down Republicans and other Americans that actually are rooting for our country to be great again. So I don't understand that part, but that is the only ratings that they're getting. And I'm pretty sure there's not one conservative watching that show. They're just not funny. They're just not funny at all. So I wish that it was just me hating on them. It's not. They're just not funny, period. Like I sat there and tried to watch Colbert one time, and I was like, there's a new guy here. Let me watch this. And I watched him, and I'm just like, he's just not funny. What are people clapping about? Like, he's not funny at all. I'm sure they got some funny, clicks here and there, right? That's why they got writers. But I just don't think so. I don't think so. No, I cannot rap. Oi, Roy, Israel or Palestine? Both. I am pro-Israel, and I know that Israel is also pro-Palestine. If there weren't, let me tell you two things that will happen. One, they will never accept Palestinians to become Israeli citizens. And two, nobody has helped Palestinians more than Israel has been helping them. Hamas does not care about them, so we want Hamas gone. So there's my answer about that. Trinity, how are you? Eileen, good evening. Welcome, welcome. Let's see if we can get at least a couple of hundred people tonight. I noticed the numbers are going down. Not sure why, because we're getting more and more patriots in here. I think for the moderators, we're gonna go ahead and let the chat go through, and we're not gonna be blocking anybody. I did put some restriction on the chat, so anything that gets filtered through, if I don't catch it, you guys can go ahead and remind me of something. But let's try to leave the chats to go through, okay? Just to see what happens. Just want to test something out. Chef Lelu says, I am a sheep. Speaking of sheep, let me pull up my video on my computer. Breda! Let's see, just so I can see the letters bigger than in my phone. And I'm going to give myself a like on this video. If you guys are watching, please give that like, give me that thumbs up in there, will you? That helps a lot in the algorithm, apparently. All right, so Chef Lelu says, I'm a sheep. Yes, I am God's sheep. And he is my pastor. I only worship God. Let me see who we have. Applegate says, God bless Honduras and the whole entire world, even the illegal immigrants. Yes, I agree. We want to make sure that everybody is blessed, but we also want to make sure that people are following the law. We will show mercy as mercy has been shown to us, but we'll also Always tell people to respect the law. It is what God wants us to do. Sixto, welcome, Sixto. I see you. I see you. Let's see. Thank you, Trinity. Vatos Locos Forever, SA. Formaggio Bagiola says Vatos Locos for life. But Edwards, freethinker, I think that Netanyahu is basically a good leader for Israel. I think, you know the way I look at it. Let's get into Israel in a little bit. Let me say hello to some of you guys. Nick, your mustache. Why? You don't like it? Bro, this is hard work, bro. This is you guys think it's nothing. Matter of fact, I forgot to trim above the lip right here. It's kind of, I don't know. It's hard to keep it even, to be honest. I gotta do some sort of like a mold, and then just shave above it. See if that works. But thanks for noticing. I appreciate it. We are growing the goatee here, the little hairs that I get. We'll see how long we'll let that go. I always cut it. I change my mind eventually. Yes, Irma, that is correct. We are the sheep, and Jesus is our shepherd. Now, we're not those sheep that always behave. We're the ones that are always headbutting stuff, like the goats. Let's see what we got. Paul Smith says nonsense. You don't know what God wants. Well, there's a book that we follow that was written by men inspired by God, and that is our recipe for our lives so that we can live to be happy. Nick, it looks spooky bad, says Nick. Nick doesn't like my mustache. What? Oh, man, I work really hard on it. Let's see, Jeff, how do people like being manipulated? Yeah, I hate being manipulated. I'll tell you that right now. That's the reason why I'm not smoking. That's the reason why I don't drink. I can do all those things, but I don't like to be manipulated, so I don't do it. One day I'm gonna have a beer maybe or something. Who knows? Maybe never, but only because I can, and that would not be a sin. Let's see. John Apple says, yeah. I hate his nail polish. What nail polish? I don't have nail polish. Although, if I go get my nails done and my toenails done, I always tell them to put clear coating on it. That's for sure. But I haven't done that for a while, so nothing on my nails, my friend. This who puts mayonnaise on his tortas. 100%, homie. Who doesn't put mayo? You gotta have mayo on the tortas, my friend. Bro, mayo's life, bro. Mayo is almost like just a couple of levels under coffee for me, okay? Jose Luis says, well said. Let's see. Donnie say he's more worried about his mustache than actually knowing the facts about this regime. We have a regime here, guys. Wait, are you talking about Israel's regime? Yeah, they say that we have a regime here in America as well. Man, speaking of regime, I really don't know what we have to do to control the crazy fake Democrat politicians in office. They keep calling us fascists, and they're doubling down, thinking their freedom of speech, as they say. Now, I find that interesting because I remember that the biggest thing that they have done to President Donald Trump during his first term and during his campaign for the first term was giving him crap about the way he talks, the insults, the name calling. But I'm going to tell you something. There is a difference when somebody calls me ugly, for example. Nobody wants to kill ugly. Nobody wants to kill somebody called Pocahontas. Nobody wants to kill anybody's name being Shifty Shift. Those are not names that will incite violence. But see, only the left likes to use names to trigger people into violence. You see, I said that before, and I know, who was it, Pat? And somebody was laughing because this is a line from the movie Spider-Man, right? Uncle Ben. You guys remember that? With great power comes great responsibility. Well, the freedom of speech is a great power. It's a great tool so that we can say and stand up, and make our will, our wishes and, be known, period. That's what it's for. And so I think that I want to read something to you guys. I want to see what you guys think about this. Now, I haven't read the full article here, but we're going to read it together, and I want your input, okay? This is Dennis Quaid reacting to Jimmy Kimmel scandal, okay? And, we'll get to the article, but let me tell you something. There's a big difference with you, calling me any name, even sellout, whatever name you want to call me, right? But when you use words that are used to trigger people, let's not forget, you know what, maybe you guys don't know this, but the Marxists, their teaching is to use names like that. Names that trigger people into violence. Names like Nazi. It's in the Marxist book. Fascist, bigot. All those things are in the Marxist book. I don't know if you guys ever read that, but it's in there. That's exciting. Well, that's why it's called a goatee, my friend. That's why it's called a goatee. But anyways, those are the things that they teach. And part of the teaching is you repeat these names and it's okay, National, I get you. And you repeat these things until people start believing it. And then it becomes a reality to them. And so that's why these words are trigger words, right? Because throughout history, we know that these names were given to evil people. And what do we want to do to evil people? We want to destroy them. We don't want them. So Nazi in history, it was huge, okay? It was huge, and I get that. But we need to make sure that we know the difference. Now watch what Dennis Quaid says. Now, I haven't read the article, but I'm going to read it because I know Dennis Quaid is actually a good person. Let me read this real quick. It says, Dennis Quaid is weighing in on Jimmy Kimmel's controversial comments about Charlie Kirk. He says, you have the right to free speech, and he certainly had the right to do that. Quaid, at 71, shared on Tuesday, September 23rd, on an episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored. I would definitely give him that, he says. But there are consequences that come with it, and you have to accept those if you're going to speak freely like that. That to me is enough, but we're going to continue. During the September 15th episode of Jimmy Kimmel's Live, Kimmel, 57, shared his thoughts about accused killer Tyler Robinson after Kirk was shot and killed during an event at a Utah Valley University. We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang. Listen to the way that they're describing us. And then they wonder why they have all this violence incitement everywhere. Desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, with everything they can to score political points from, Kimmel says. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. Kimmel also questioned how close President Donald Trump was to Kirk before showing a clip of the commander-in-chief talking to reporters about the White House ballroom construction after he was asked how he was coping with Kirk's death. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend, Kimmel said. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish. Now, he thinks he's being funny. I'm going to tell you, there's nothing funny that I found about this. And maybe, as the joke says, too soon right? Because that is the bad intention of it. And I agree. And number one, as I said at the beginning of my video, Jimmy Kimmel, I don't think it's funny. I think the writers try to do as best as they can to make some funny lines for him, but I can tell you, I don't miss it. Miguel, we're not blocking comments today. We're going to let the chat just go. Try to ignore the bad talk. That's all. I will try to keep a glance on here once in a while, and you guys just pay attention to what I'm telling you, and then just comment positively. Teach these guys how to behave. Now, I will give you a warning. If you type something on this chat, as much as I am loving to dialogue, give me a break to say what I have to say. I'm going to look at comments. Hopefully what you put in there, it's something serious. If it's an insult, I'm just going to ignore it. I asked everybody to do the same. Okay. Now, if there is a super chat, which by the way, I'm not begging for, it pops out bright in my screen. And I do pause to give thanks for that support. Okay. So let me go ahead and continue here. I'm almost done and I'll give you a chance. I will read some comments and hopefully I get to your comment. All right. Let's see. Days after the episode aired, a spokesperson for ABC confirmed to the U.S. Weekly that Kimmel was being taken off the air. He was expected to return Tuesday, which was last night, and I didn't watch it, of course, because I don't watch this guy. Now, they show a picture of Dennis Quaid and Jimmy Kimmel, standing next to each other and taking a picture. Originally, it was the local affiliates are the ones that complained, I guess, because of people calling in to complain, and they're also losing ratings. And I think it was a business issue. Quaid theorized about Kimmel's show briefly being pulled, but you have to accept the consequences. And he's making a point. If you're gonna make jokes, I get it. You're making jokes. The problem that with his joke is he has, what is it, like 100 plus leftist guests, meaning that they're always making fun of Republicans, Trump, and the opposition, right? It's okay. You have a show, you can do whatever. But the problem becomes, and maybe this is why it's not funny to me, because it seems more of an attack. Now, I don't care about comedy being ruthless, gruesome, being evil at times, right? This is why the fool is called a fool. A comedian is a fool. Now, even us, when we make jokes, we're fools when we make those jokes. And there is a reason why we always emphasize, hey, be serious. Right now is not the time to make a joke. Be serious. But when there is time to be a fool, then we will be fools. All right? That's just what I'm saying. Now, there has been people that have been, they love playing the victim and the victim card, right? And they go and they say this, that, and they stand on it and they double stand on this and they say, this is what we believe, this is what we're going to do. And then when they get caught lying or they get caught doing this, oh, well, I'm a comedian. Because they know comedians have been given a ticket to be able to say racist things on their jokes so that they can do hateful things on their jokes. They know that there is no censor on swear words, right? And sometimes I swear myself, I get it. But we have to be somewhat of an example to the youth, because whether you and I think that we're the only adults in here, sometimes teenagers, young, maybe, 13, 14, there's a small percentage, but it shows on my analytics that there is people between 13 and 17 years old coming into my live feed. So we do have to keep it down. You know what I'm saying? Let's be a little bit more respectful, be mindful that, there's parents out there that don't want their kids to be, using curse words, etc. So I try to hold myself, okay? I will ask you to please do the same. Don't be putting foolish stuff on here. And if you do, I get it. You know, today you get your freedom of speech. My rules have come down just a little bit for you today. Okay, so let me see. Walt Disney Company ultimately announced on Monday, September 22nd, that Jimmy Kimmel Live will resume taping on Tuesday. Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. A statement read, "It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed." And I said that before I even read this. "And thus sensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversation with Jimmy." Isaac says, let me read this real quick. "Why did Trump and Lutnick say H-1B visas $100,000 annually and then backtrack and say one-time fee?" I believe the latter is correct. Administration continues to lose credibility. I believe they're trying to work things out. Thank you for the 5, Newton. Give me a second here. I'm going to reply to you for real quick. So I'm not sure if you have heard what the $100,000 is about. So apparently there are companies, right? We're going to give an example from India. We want to have people that want to have that H-1 visa coming back over here, 1H visa. Was it H-1B? H-1B. I keep thinking about the flu. The H-1B. So the reason why he wants to make this one-time fee is because normally the jobs that these people are getting, because we want engineers, we want geniuses in here. We want people that are going to be doing some great work, right? And hopefully they'll stay with us. But there is companies that will pay, normally a job will pay like maybe, 75, some of them 6 figures, right? So 75 to $100,000 a year. This is the salary, okay? So it's a one-time thing. They will have to pay it up front. That's the one-time thing. If they were to pay it while the time that they're here, then that's how they will be. But then it will be no different than what some companies are doing. I hope I explained that okay. Here, let me start over. The reason why we're charging $100,000 for the H-1B visas is because these jobs pay very well. And what they have found is that there's companies out there that are taking $20,000, $30,000 sort of commission fee, right? So to speak. And they are paying these people a lot less money. So in the long run, they get away with paying a low salary and they're begging money for themselves. This is how these companies make money. And Trump is against that. I agree. I am against that myself. Now, if they chose to hire students from the university that are graduating with engineers, masters, bachelors, etc., they should hire those Americans and pay them their 6-figure salary that they deserve to get paid. But see, they don't want to do that because then they won't make money themselves, and they're making millions of dollars off of this. It's kind of like the same thing that's happening with the big farmers over here in Washington State. They have H-1B visa for laborers, right, that come to this country, and they have to pay them a wage that is livable wage, right? But what do? They hire illegal immigrants to replace these people that are actually paying a fee to come to work in this country, and then they have no work. So I hope that makes sense, and I think that's what the question was, right? Okay, let me see. All right, let me see who else is in here. I think I read the end of it. We had the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, so to end on this Jimmy Kimmel stuff, right? I'm going to close this article, so I'm not going to go back to it. To end this article, my point was, it was too soon. People are still mourning. This is a guy that impacted millions of people. President Donald Trump, yes, he's our commander in chief, and he cannot look weak. I can tell you, and every American patriot already knows that President Donald Trump was devastated by the loss of Charlie Kirk being assassinated that way. Okay? Number one, the best thing he can do is try to play it off. I mean, that's a natural, normal reaction to me. Now, some jackasses out there, they were out there dancing, celebrating, making rap songs, making country songs, making pop, making reggae songs, hating and celebrating this assassination. President Trump decided, I'm going to ignore it. I don't want to talk about it. Some people would have just walked away. Listen to what? I don't got time for this. I'm out. He could have done so many different things to react about it, but that's the way that he reacts to it. That's the way he copes with losing somebody he really cared about. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Now, I want you to remember what Dennis Quaid said about freedom of speech. We all have the right to freedom of speech, but there's consequences to that freedom of speech. For example, you can get in trouble with calling somebody a racist name out on the street. You will create violence, and violence will be upon you because people are not going to take it. So you can have your freedom of speech, but there is consequences to using your freedom of speech. Like, for example, if you're a child and you call your mom a B, there's something that's going to happen to you. Even though, yes, you can say that to your mom, but there's a consequence that comes with it. All right? I hope that makes sense. All right, let me get in this chat and see who else is in here. I hope that makes sense, guys. People don't like my English. Let's see. Let me go up a little bit. Jesse Lee, welcome. Gasper Kuna. Good explanation. Thank you, sir. Nathan is back. Welcome back, Nathan. National Socialist, it says, why is there anti-Semitism laws? That is actually a good question, and I'm not going to pretend that I know specifics or try to even convince you about it. But for me, I will tell you that there hasn't been a country that has been attacked as much as Israel has. And the Jews have been hated for a very long time. And I believe that these anti-Semitic laws have to do a lot with the Holocaust, the suffering that the Jews have been through, right? Just like, of course, even the legacy media, they don't use the N-word, right, to describe black people. They don't do that. Why? Because, they don't want to look like they're racist, that they're being hateful. And so it's kind of in the same way. And I'm going to put in the same category as that. Like, you shouldn't be racist towards people of color. You shouldn't be racist towards Hispanics. You shouldn't be racist towards anybody. The reality of the thing is that there is only one race, and that's called the human race. I like what Charlie Kirk said in one of his arguments with a college student. And the guy was actually being pretty fair, I guess, argumentative, but very fair. And he says, did you know that there's a difference between me and you? The guy was black. And he says, it's false. There is no difference. There has been tests and all this proven, blah, 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 and says that we are all the same except for the pigmentation of the color of the skin, right? That's it. What do you call that? I don't know why I'm thinking about amulets. But it's the gene, right, that gives you that dark or light skin color. But we are the same race, same human race, right? So it doesn't matter what color skin you have. I hope that makes sense. Who was the one asking that question? I know he was asking me to answer. Ivan Curry. I think that answered that question. Okay, that's just my opinion. I really never looked into why there is a law for anti-Semitic, but that's the reasons that I give you and why I believe that should stay on. Okay, let's see. Paul says definitely a Judas. He wants silver dollars. Judas, I'm sure that's what you meant. Everyone in the room sees that this guy is a joke. Thank you, Ivan. You can call me fool, that's fine. Okay, so Ivan is black. So you know what I'm talking about then, right? You know what I'm talking about, stuff like that. So melatonin, thank you, Irma. Somebody was listening. And I knew that I was thinking about, I don't know what the hell I was thinking about. But yeah, melatonin, that's the right word, the right word. Nathan Ketchum says national socialist. He says, I'm with you, bro. Man, now I got two of these burras. That's not cool. I need some more support. Adrian Cocciarelli says traitor. I don't go to Mexico waving no USA flag. And I appreciate that, Ivan. Let's see. I expect the same over here, my friend. But let me tell you something. I don't expect the same. Let me take that back. Let me walk it back. You can wave any world's flag. You can wave a federal, what do you call that? Confederate flag. You can get the old, what is the word? Oh my God! I'm thinking of an airport, airlines. What was the good military force against the Confederates? Anybody? Oh my God. I'm so shameful right now. I feel such a shame. The Continental Army, the flag that they use. Oh my God, that's so horrible. I apologize. I apologize about that. What an anti-American I am today. Anyways, you can wave the Japanese flag, the Korean. You can wave any flag you want. What I am against is your stupid idea of freedom of speech by burning the American flag and then waving another country's flag instead. I'm against that, okay? And that freedom of speech can also be interpreted as a hateful crime because you are waving another flag on top of my American flag and you're burning it. That is a hateful crime in my book because you're hating my country and you're waving your other country's flag, meaning that you're invading us. You're not just waving it because you want equality, because you respect us and you love us, that you want that country to be represented here as well as part of a visitor in the United States of America. I would love to see you fly your flag in North Korea and tell Jim Kuntu that he's crazy, that he's wrong about everything. Let's see, what do we have in here? What else we have? Irma says, hi, Melanin. Huh? Sean, I don't know what happened there. Ivan says, thank you to Trinity. Okay, National Socialist. Read 1 Thessalonians 2:14-15 right now, he says. All right, the last one that I was reading was 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Read that right now. All right, let me look it up. Let me look it up. I'll do that for you. All right. So let's see. 1 Thessalonians, Representative Byron. Give sec, as they say. Give sec. And let's see. That was what? 2:14. I think it was 2:14. I had to leave my window so I don't forget what it was. 2:14. All right, here we go. 2:14. And let's see what you want to tell me today. All right, so 2:14 says, and then, dear brothers and sisters, you suffered persecution from your own countrymen. In this way, you imitated the believers in God's churches in Judea, who, because of their belief in Christ Jesus, suffer from their own people, the Jews. That's great. What did you want me to hear about that? Let me see. Maybe there's you said it was 15 as well, right? So let's go there. Yes, whatever. And, man, I should just look at my Bible. There's so many commercials in here. 2:15. Who killed the Lord Jesus and the prophets and also drove us out? They displease God and are hostile to everyone. You're making a point about, is that what you call the regime? Do you not understand what it is to believe in God and try to interpret the gospel of Jesus Christ? I want you to tell me why you told me to read that, and I want to dialogue with that. 2016, don't spam, bro. We get you, we get you. Don't spam. We need to have other people's comments being read. Who are God's chosen people? Israel. And those who believe that Jesus Christ is God's only begotten Son that came to this earth so that we may also be called his people. What else you got? Love does not fix everything. No, it doesn't. You need discipline. Violent but funny people, free com. Oh, geez. Israel, everybody. John Appleblade, Clark Kent. God bless Israel. Amen. Amen. I'm 100% for Israel. Absolutely. Now, they don't have to love me, but I have to love them. That's just me. You don't have to believe that. Edward, 100%. God bless Israel and the U.S. John Apple says, oh, okay, I forgot you people really are that stupid. God, forgive me. Paul Smith says, you twit, how dare you say these fake Jews don't harm black people? Well, wait, what? You know what? Before I get in trouble, let me tell you something. I have never been harmed by Jews. I've never been harmed by white people. Some Hispanics I got into fights, but that's something different. I have only been harmed by black people. Robbed, bullied, picked on, and that stopped after we got into a fight, and then we became friends. But I have never experienced any violence from any other ethnicity other than blacks here in the United States of America. So if that is what you're thinking about the Jews, let me tell you something. Even though the only people that have been violent against me have been black people, I love my black people. I love Asians. I love Hispanics. I love all people. You see, I think I'm lucky or blessed because in Honduras, we have every ethnicity in Honduras, but we were not raised to be racist like you guys here in the United States of America. And let's be honest, racism has never been as hot as when Obama was in office. This country tried to pretend that it's the most racist country in the world. And that's a lie, but that's how victims play the card. The racist card, this is why people don't believe you people anymore. You guys overplay the victim card. You're gonna tell me that Jews are evil because they've done something to you or to some other black folks? Let's not forget that minorities have always been hurting the Jews. That's just me. Am I looking at the wrong thing or what? Were you expecting me to say that I hate black people because they're the only ones that done me wrong? They're the only ones that have tried to beat me up, bullied me. And I'm talking about adults when I'm a young teenager. And I've never been disrespectful. I've always been respectful to my elders. I always tell my teenage friends, hey man, behave. Otherwise we can't be friends. I've always stood up and tried to be as fair and just as possible. So I don't want to hear anything else. And Jeff Chalmer, just so you know, my kids are black. Don't be a fool. If you don't know me, don't say anything. All right, let's see. Yeah, because racists hated seeing a black man express. What the F are you talking about? Okay, Mr. Donzo, let's remind you that it was Michelle Obama that after President Obama was put in office, which, by the way, white people put him in there. She kept talking the whole time. Every time she was on the press, interviews, little campaigns to help the needy children and all this BS. She always talked about how she was so afraid of white people and their racism. It was so hard to be a black woman. It's so hard to be black that they become presidents of this freaking country. Get the hell out of here with that stupid mentality. It is white people that liberated, that freed the black slaves. It was white people that believed that it was not right for the black people to be slaves. It was white people that voted for them to have the right to vote. All that black has ever done for blacks has enslaved themselves. Let's not forget that slavery comes from Africa. They enslaved their own people and sold their own people. So you can't blame somebody for buying those people. After 200 something years, you're still gonna think that you can play that stupid card. Nobody cares about black people as much as white people. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. You can take that to the bank. Man. Talk about history, man. I was taught history by an old black man named Mr. Davis. And I believe his first name was Brian Davis. I always think that I'm saying it wrong because I had a friend that was white who was also Brian Davis. But Mr. Davis was a history. He was a guru in history. I learned my history from him. From a black old man. I saw him as my grandfather telling me stories about the past, about his experiences, about how white racism, it doesn't exist. And only fools pretend that white people are supremacists. Hi, Evelyn. Welcome back. Good to see you in here. Somebody came over here and light up my firecracker. We're writing checks we can't cash. Quantum, you got a point. And I say this before, and I will say it again. We are at an economic war. And it doesn't matter which kind of war we go into. There's always casualties. I get it. Probably businesses are going out of business. The economy is going to suffer. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to suffer a little bit. For two reasons. One of them, because a lot of small businesses that got brainwashed into investing internationally are so dependent on China in order to make money. Whose fault is that? Not President Donald Trump's. You can go ahead and thank your Democrats for that. So the last couple of decades, Democrats. Quanto likes that one. Wolfie says it's Trump's fault. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's Trump's fault. You know what else is Trump's fault? The respect the United States of America has in the world today. Do you know who called on President Donald Trump and the United States of America? Not the leaders of countries that are very strong, that are abusing the people, but the innocent people that are being abused by tyrannical and dictatorship from other governments. That's who calls us. And that is who President Donald Trump is helping. Not only is he defending, protecting the United States of America and the interests of the American people, but he's also helping worldwide. I don't understand why people cannot give him credit for what he has done. Directly or indirectly, he has stopped 7 wars. And now we hear, and I told people many times, be patient. Oh, Putin is taking advantage. He's lying to Trump. Just be patient. When Trump says that he has a great relationship with Putin, it doesn't mean they're besties, like the Indian prime minister over there holding hands, skipping into the meeting with China and North Korea. They were all holding hands. That's not the relationship that President Trump is talking about. He's talking about, I know what you can do, but you know what I can do. That's the relationship that he's talking about. Now, Putin, Xi, and everybody else in the world knows a few things about us. And let me open your eyes today. One of them, they know, first of all, that he only has 3.5 years left. They can wait it out. 2, they know these fake Democrat, corrupted politicians are doing everything they can so that they don't get caught in all the lies that they've been telling us and all the money that they have been stealing from the taxpayers. 3, they know that there is a lot of people in this country that want to destroy America. We hear of these radical Muslims saying they're going to take over Florida. They're building mosques. They're buying Christian temples and they're making them into mosques. They say that out in social media. They don't care. There's a Muslim mayor, I think it was, or a governor, that told a Christian preacher that he's not welcome in his own town. Nobody has said anything to that guy. And the Christian pastor, such a weak sheep. I would have turned around and be like, and who the hell are you? Your title of mayor or governor, whatever his position is, it doesn't mean jack squat, because the only title that matters is American citizen. They are servants. They are no kings. And who told the people that Donald Trump said he was a king? He acted like a king? The same corrupted Democrat politicians. But they are projecting what they are doing themselves. Millions of Democrats don't support them because they're really American patriots. They're not stupid. I understand how loyalty works. You're going to support them and support them and support them, and you hope that they're going to change. But see, Democrats, I'm talking about the citizens, our American patriots, our brothers and sisters out there, they're still American. They have seen with their own eyes, have experienced with their own lives what corruption looks like. I'll give you the best example of corruption. Oh my God, there's so many, but I'll give you one. The mayor of Chicago calls the police department and jails a disease, a sickness that doesn't solve anything. Calls the police useless. Says the corrupted politician that makes millions and hundreds of millions of dollars so that they can have programs to stop crime. That's not how it works. Paul Smith, thank you for the clown faces. They are clowns. Don't be a beta. Uncle Cock Beard Hair, says Flash. Jeff Chalmers is crying out loud. Oh, man, sorry about that, buddy, but you got to hear the truth today. So there you have it. Now, what I find interesting is that a lot of people are still supporting these clowns that Paul is putting in there. Look at Mandani. He's winning by 18 points right now. Now, it could be just illegal people answering the polls, and hopefully New York is not going to make him a mayor. I don't see how this guy that's never held a job know anything about running a city or a state. I find that very interesting. And they, of course, they lie to the people, and the most gullible are the ones that believe the lies. They're thinking free housing, free food, free transportation. What can possibly go wrong? Nothing. Everything is wonderful. Everything is peachy. And let's not forget what they just found out in equipment that I believe was something like, somebody help me out with what the actual equipment was. But they can text the whole United States of America within seconds. The whole United States of America within seconds. If they wanted to incite or misinform the whole United States of America, they can do that. They can scramble signals so that nobody can make phone calls, nobody has any communication with the outside world, and anything that would happen is a destruction. Maybe people going on riots and shooting people around. Nobody will know except the people that is happening to, because communications could be down. Now, I don't believe we'll get to that extreme, because we have Elon Musk with satellites that will give us that access regardless, and somebody will find out what the hell is going on. I don't believe that they have all that power as they think that they do. But nonetheless, the threat is real, and you should not overlook at that. We do not want communists in this country. And the only reason why these corrupted politicians are still calling themselves Democrats is because they know that there is a lot of Americans that are loyalists to the Democratic Party. I understand. Believe me, I understand. Now, I'm not trying to tell you to convert to Republican. But right now, as an American patriot, it is your duty to support the party and the leaders that are actually fighting to provide and protect this country. I can't believe it. I have never seen an administration that has been so transparent, maybe so transparent that sometimes they make the wrong comments out in public. I get that. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to missay things, right? Like the whole Pam Bondi was saying, oh, I got the files on my desk right now. Well, really, do you? Do you really have the files there? I don't know, maybe. Right? Like saying we are going to go after those who use hate speech, and we're going to go and find them and prosecute them. No, you can't do that. But I think that what she meant is any type of speech that incites violence and supports terrorist organizations. And I think that that is the big difference. Thank you, Luca. I appreciate it. Even if it's a fake compliment, I will take it. John says, release the Epstein files. I don't know how many files they've released so far, but they released thousands of them. I don't think there's anything important in there. I keep hearing different witnesses bringing in different stories, and it's like kind of BS. Some of it sounds interesting. Some of it looks made up, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. Rita says, Mitchell says, amen. Trump is the president of America. Support your country is to support Trump. It's the American thing to do. Yes, 100%. And yes, I don't have the files. Otherwise, they would be released, my friend. But I love it. I love to say that. Release the files. Even though Paul is probably not even saying it that way, or John is not saying it that way, but that's the way I hear it. Go Dodgers. All right. Go Dodgers. I'm just kidding. I'm not a baseball fan. I supported the Mariners because that's the state that I am in. But, yeah, the Dodgers. I got a lot of Mexicans that love the LA Dodgers. So, yes, let's go. Let's go. Paul Saw says, remember when you said Trump was going to prison? How did that work out for you, dummies? For you freaking dummies. That's what he's trying to say. Paul is trying to watch his language. That's right, baby. You got support a felony 30. Now it's 36. I thought it was 32. Man, how about this one? Who has the courage to go and tell the United Nations that they are losers, that they have been stealing money from the people? And did you know, maybe I won't even, I won't even pretend this is the right answer because maybe I'm forgetting exactly what happened. If anybody knows, help me out in the chat. I believe the UN, and I have a comment about the UN personally. He had the courage to bring up in public, in front of their faces, telling them that that he knows, that we know, and we got the receipts, that they were given millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to who? Anybody? Why not trying the bilingual? Cube says. Vic says he also told them his administration accomplished more in a year than any other administration. He's wrong. Not in a year. In 6 months. Let's see. Do we count February? No. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. All right, in 7 months. Not a year, in 7 months. He lied. To Syria, and that sounds right, to the Taliban, correct. I'm not sure if Hamas got money for this, but I know that the terrorist groups were actually getting money from the UN, and I know that there is a lot of feelings about this USAID and how people love it and how they did blah, 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 this and that. And they're an NGO. They launder money. This is how they get away with criminal activities. They pay terrorists. They have paid so that we can have illegal immigrants infiltrate our countries. And let me tell you what they're looking for. If you don't read the Bible, if you think it's fake and you don't believe in God, I understand, I can understand, and I can tell you, I have seen so much stuff that I've been tempted to deny what I know and what has happened. But even more reason for me to hold on stronger to my faith. What the UN wants, they want chaos throughout the most powerful countries in the world, because what happens then? Anybody? What happens if the world of all these big nations, the UK, France, Italy, Spain, the United States, what happens when all these countries get overwhelmed with the illegal immigrants? Yeah. Malik Townsend. All right, nobody knows. The UN, the United Nations, they want new world order. I know that's not the first time you heard that. That is not the first time you heard that. I'm sure that you have heard that before. Not martial law, but pretty close. Katian Ruiz said he's not Raza, he's from Honduras. And who the hell are you? You're not Raza. You know what Raza means? You're a fool if you think that only means Mexicans. That's right, Eileen. One world order. That's how I see it. So President Donald Trump went out there and told them, you guys make strong letter, but that just means words. But you guys are useless. You know right now what the United Nations should be doing is helping countries with illegal immigration crisis. And I'm not talking about just illegal, I'm talking about illegal mass migration. That's what we're talking about. That's what the problem is. Now, the only people that will be against me on this are criminals. Those, when I made an oath to the United States of America, I didn't betray my country. Honduras. I love my country, Honduras. That's my country of birth. You know who betrays their countries? Those who come to another nation illegally. That's who the real traitors are. Because they are representing the integrity of that country. Somebody that says, hey, you know what, Dad, I'm 18 years old. I live by the rules. I know how to fend for myself. It's time for me to try a new adventure. You know what? Daddy says, all right, if you can handle it, if the opportunity presents itself, go for it. And that's how I see it. So if you come from another country, you go to the American embassy, you ask for permission. Once the permission is given, go in there with an honest intention. Do you plan on living here and working? Or do you plan on visiting and then going back when the time is up? See, there's many ways for you to become illegal. There are some people on the legacy media that are so stupid. They say they have never been illegal, but they have overstayed their visa for years. Of course, now they got papers. They marry somebody with papers, they got papers. But you see, that mentality, I've never been illegal. I came to this country legally. But they forget to tell you that they've been illegal for years because they let the visa expire. Now, with that being said, if you come here legally and you don't lie in your application and you're honest, you never betrayed your people. It is not betrayal that you seek a better life. What is betrayal if you break the rules seeking that better life? It doesn't belong to you. So if you want to be respected, stop cheering for criminality. Stop cheering for breaking laws. Do an inside, judgment and ask yourself, am I really doing the right thing? And if you don't love this country, and if you don't respect the laws, go somewhere else. Go to a country where you think is better than here. Hey, Bruno, how are you, brother? Welcome, welcome. See, I get happy when I see my members, because when I see members, I know that they care about me. And I know that they're either praying for me or they are either wishing me well. And I appreciate that. Thank you guys for being my members. You guys are above and beyond support. Thank you for that. For everybody else, just giving the video a like, sharing, or subscribing, that is also great for me, and I appreciate that as well. So my love to all you guys. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for subscribing. I was punished with 2 days of no live because I showed my gun Sunday morning. So I couldn't do live all day Sunday, all day Monday, until last night, or until Tuesday, I guess. And it was a big punishment because I missed sharing the information or my opinion with people that actually care and love this country. How you doing, Goo? Welcome again, brother. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Thank you, Sebastino. God bless you. Right back, baby. Right back at you. Caleb says, are you not afraid that the rhetoric being used against illegals could be easily redirected against all Hispanic people in general? Caleb, that's a very good question. So let me tell you one thing here. Now, I'm a Hispanic. I come from a barrio, if you know what that means. For black people, it will be the ghetto over here. For Hispanics, we call it barrio, which just means a small community. We had a lot of thieves, drug dealers, alcoholics. This is our Latino community. Rapists, child abusers, you name it. This is what we grew up watching as Hispanics. In our community, in el barrio, how do you think I should see my own people in this country? I don't see them as that. But there was a lot of people from Honduras that were exactly what I just said. I'm also from Honduras. And because I had a mother that taught me to be the man that I am today, I know that not everybody is like them. Not everybody is criminals. Now, with that being said, a Jamaican man once told me that he was in this country temporary, but he was born in Jamaica and he was going to die in Jamaica. And I know exactly what he means, because if I ever go down and stay in Honduras and I die there, I'll be at peace because I was born there. And it's always God's timing, God's will. I'm not telling you to go wish, something like that for yourself. But what I'm saying is be honest to yourself. Be true to what you stand for. So the question about Hispanics, let me tell you something. I haven't noticed ICE knocking on doors, asking Americans, hey, do you have an illegal working in your garden? Do you have an illegal cleaning your house? Do you have an illegal nanny by any chance? We're trying to deport people. That's not how they do it. All the people that I know that have been caught doing something that they're not supposed to, against the law, besides breaking the law, being illegal, DUIs, some type of molestation, some type of tax evasion. They have businesses, they don't actually pay taxes the way they're supposed to. They get red flagged, and then they get a warrant for their arrest, and then they go after them. And anybody that stands against ICE will get checked. There's a lot of Hispanics out there protesting. They look guilty to me. I am not going to say they're American because they're not defending this country. And to not defend this country means that you are either a traitor or you are not from this country and or are illegal. That's just how I see it. Now, if you want to call somebody a traitor, that's what I would start. Somebody that doesn't want to protect this country or its people. Do you think that the people from our countries, our Latin countries in specific, and let's be clear, not every legal immigrant in here is Hispanic. So you don't have to be racist or prejudiced about it. But do you think that a lot of the legal migrants that got away from criminals appreciate those criminals coming in here and taking their job opportunities, bringing drugs into this country? Do you think it's fair for you to come here illegally and hundreds of thousands of children get molested, raped, and sold in this country? Do you think it's okay that because you want to be here illegally, the cartel is out there free to do whatever they want because you wanted to come here illegally? Do you think that's okay? You're probably saying, yeah, because you're selfish. Do you think it's okay because you wanted to come here illegally that another person comes in here and kills somebody? Do you think it's okay for businesses to be burned down or being ransacked because you wanted to come here illegally? You gotta bear the guilt of all the illegal criminals that have come to this country to destroy it. For every time that an illegal is driving under the influence and kills somebody, you are guilty of that. For somebody that gets raped, you are guilty of that. Somebody that gets beat up by an illegal, you are guilty of that. Anything horrible, bad that happens in this country, you have to take that guilt with you. If I was here illegally and somebody told me that, I'll self-deport. Liar. What is that? What's a lie about it? What's a lie about it? Here, I get this thrown in my face, and I hear it a lot, especially from black people. Oh, here we go. If you're black, you might not like the next thing that I'm going to say. And if you got a lot of black friends, share my link right now, because this is for everybody. I hear all the time, not from every black, but from the fake victims. Racism. Oh my God. Racism. Why? Why racism? It's our history. Our people, they were enslaved. Okay, all right, okay. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. So were our people, our Indians. We were enslaved. Now, because you believe, because you've never been a slave. 200 years ago, you've never been a slave. You are going to keep playing that stupid card. I believe on accountability. And the way that accountability works, it has a two-way path. One of them, if you are going to take, and I'm going to say this, respect to my black Americans that don't fall into this category of fake racist victimhood, because you guys got common sense. But if you claim that you are a victim because your ancestors were slaves, that means that you also have to accept that you're a criminal, because most of the black people commit the most crimes, and it's been in history of this country. So I'm going to tell you something. Do the right thing. Again, just like there was ghetto thieves and all these criminals in El Barrio, where I'm from, my family was not one of them. My other neighbors were not one of them. They were good people. In the same way, there's a lot of black Americans in here that are good people. But those that claim the victimhood card also have to take the title of every violent criminal that is part of their culture. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts. Guys, thank you for the flower. I don't know what those things are, but I'll take the gesture as a thank you and a support. Thank you so much. Much love to you. So, Goo, I'm going to give you, I think you're black. I want you to give me some knowledge, brother. Goo says, I hate you. Come on. No, come on. Give me something. That's just my opinion, guys. It's my opinion. So give me yours. Let's see. Come on. It could be. It could be a sick opinion. And it's not a tale. It's not a story. You didn't get the message. No, it's not white America. Jeff Beta. How can you love an unfunny guy, man? Thank you, the one. We got the truth. Martin Brown said, I got the message. Caleb, thanks for sharing your answer to my question, bro. I appreciate it. I hope that I answered it. I don't remember, Caleb, what the answer was, what the question was. This guy is a slave to MAGA indoctrination. Carocho, I am a slave to God. Jesus is our king. Yes, Jesus is my king. Don't delete that comment. Oh, you retracted it. All right, Goober. Let me enlighten you. You see, if I said all Hispanics are criminals. I'm making a statement. If I say all black people are criminals, I'll be making a statement. But see, this shows me the ignorance that flows amongst a lot of people. What you didn't hear was, in everything that I just said, Eric with his MBT, everything that I just said, you automatically took it with a spirit of hate. And that's where you went wrong. The message and the point that you missed is that you have a choice and you get to choose which one of those are you. So we have a saying in Spanish, and I think in English is the same way. If the shoe fits, oh man, yeah, Josh. All the children, all the little children screaming liar, they are funny. Unconfirmed, dude, I don't even know who you are. What the F? Caleb, it's okay, guys. Be nice to each other. Bring those bad comments to me, okay? Yes, Irma. Generalizing. If I just said all people are this, there's no choice. But if I say there's a group and there's another group, you get to choose which group you identify with. And by the results, by the comments that you give me here, I think it's funny. You know why I think it's funny? Not because I made a joke. I think it's funny because instead of making yourself look good, you decide to send me an insult when I haven't said that the bad group is you. I never said that. I never said that. Now, somebody, oh, that was Caleb, right, Caleb, about the Hispanics? Yeah, I always say this, guys. And if you're new to my live, I understand why you don't know. But it's okay. Every time somebody asks me the question, I will try to answer as best as I can. But this is what I say. I believe, right, coming to this country illegally, it's a crime. If you work in this country illegally, it is also a crime. If you work under somebody else's name or social security, that is a felony. And so you're breaking 3 laws being in this country illegally. Now bear with me, hang in there, let me get to it. If you are in this country illegally, you got 2 choices. Again, there's always a choice. You can, and mind you, this is me telling you just my opinion. You take it with a grain of salt, okay? You have 2 choices. You can self-deport, get a free ticket to go back to your country, get $1,000 in your pocket, get started, sell and take whatever you can to your country. If you don't like that idea, that's okay. Remember, there's consequences. But here is the other thing. If you are in this country and you become legal, you have to think about 2 things. One of them, is it worth it to you? Is it something that you like? Is it something that you wish? Is it something that you really, really want? And the second one is just as important. Do you love the United States of America? And do you respect the Americans? If the answer is yes to those 2 questions, congratulations. I hope that you get papers. But, as I said, there's consequences. If you decide not to self-deport and you want to chance it, you want to wing it, I'm going to give you 2 more choices. One of them, you can let ICE come and take you by force, or you can live a hard life and save as much as you can, doing whatever you can without selling drugs or something illegal that is worse than what you're already doing by working illegally. Save as much money as you can, get some land in your country, and save enough money, and hopefully you get enough time to do it, and put yourself a small business in your country, and learn to love the country where you come from. Okay, that's my advice. That's my opinions. Let's see. Okay, Goober. I thought you said you were black. Who is black? Somebody said they were black. And if you're white, it's the same thing. Criminality is not a color thing. But if you're a criminal, you're a criminal. If you're not, then good for you. Learn to love people. Martin Cifuentes. This guy showed me so much love. Cerote, that means a big zero. Let's see. Jay, Dennis, come have a drink with me at Woody's Bar in Shoreline, Aurora 200. Jimmy Kimmel is back on air. Victory for the American people. Jay, how do I know what you look like? See, you know what I look like. And you know I'm not walking in there with a Make America Great hat in the bar. But I will tell you what. There was a bar, and I think that I gave you guys enough information about Jimmy Kimmel, but I got some more news to share with you. Make sure you're ready, okay? At 7, I'm done. You still want to go today, right?
Do you want to go?
I want to, whatever you want to do.
Well, I'm asking you.
Well, I'm asking you.
Yeah, but you're the one that dropped
You want to go? If you want to go, I will.
But do you want to go?
I don't, but do you?
Then no.
The only reason why I want to go over there swimming is because I get to spend time with you. And that's it.
Okay.
So if you don't want to go swimming, then we can leave there for another day.
Yeah.
Another day?
Yeah.
All right.
My stomach hurts from the
I still need to talk to you about something else. I will let you know when I'm finished. All right. Had to have a conversation with my daughter. I forgot what I was going to tell this guy.
What was the conversation?
Forget it. I will say one more thing. And unconfirmed might just be a bot. Let's see. Got it. Here's a quick, simple recipe for a classic turkey and cheese sandwich. You know what's a great recipe for life? The Bible. You guys know that a lot of people like to give false testimony against our beautiful POTUS, President Donald J. Trump. Well, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of salt on this information. And I'm going to start with Mr. Bolton. No, not Michael Bolton, the great singer. I'm talking about Bolton, the FBI guy. What's his name? John. John? Yeah, John. All right, John. This is John's recent criticism in 2025. Retribution presidency and FBI raid. Bolton stated in August 2025 that Trump was running a retribution presidency. Now, what would give him that idea of retribution unless he did something against them? That was already coming after him just before his Maryland home and office were raided by the FBI. Following the raid, Vice President J.D. Vance claimed the investigation was non-political, while critics pointed to the raid as a form of targeting a perceived enemy. In September, newly released court records revealed that federal investigations seized multiple documents marked secret, confidential, and classified from Bolton's office. This is the same guy that was talking all that crap about President Donald Trump. Let's see what else he did. Following a U.S.-Russia meeting in Alaska in August 2025, Bolton said that Trump's approach had moved the U.S. farther from peace in Ukraine. What a moron. In September 2025, Bolton again stated that Trump doesn't know how to solve the Ukraine war and that Russian President Vladimir Putin has been emboldened by Trump's perceived lack of cohesive strategy. Bolton argues that Trump personalizes foreign policy, believing he is friends with Putin, and Bolton calls cold-blooded and manipulative. You guys still with me on that, right? In foreign policies, Bolton has criticized Trump's erratic approach to foreign policy, which he describes as fueled by prejudices and pet hates. Bolton specifically condemned Trump's tariffs on India, stating that Trump shredded decades of U.S. policy aimed at aligning India away from Russia and China. In a September 2025 op-ed for the Washington Post, Bolton also rebuked Trump's recent address to the United Nations as a scathing put-downs, and we loved it, and a personal airing of grievances rather than an attempt at a serious reform. Dismissal of security details, Bolton noted that one of Trump's first actions upon returning to office was to revoke the security clearances and details for critics, including himself and others like Mike Pompeo and Mark Esper. Yes, I agree with those security clearances being revoked. 2020, the room where it happened. This is a 2020 tell-all book. Bolton described Trump. You guys probably know this already, right? Poor Paul is getting some fever from this clown. But can't handle the truth. It says, it details several questionable actions and comments. Allegations included that Trump sought help from China to win re-election. Approved of building Chinese internment camps, and did not know that the United Kingdom was a nuclear power. This guy. In 2024, for the re-release of his memoir, in January 2024, Bolton added an introduction in which he called Trump unfit and warned of his potential for destructive foreign policy. Bolton argued that with no constitutional limit on future terms, Trump would have fewer restraints on his behavior. Trump's response: President Trump and his allies have repeatedly dismissed Bolton's criticism. Now, before you get too lost, let's remember that they raided his house. This is just to give you a little history, right? And the reason why he's in trouble. So, public comments, Trump has called Bolton very dumb, labeled him as a fired loser, and claimed to not to know anything about the recent FBI raid. So, and I remember that when he said that to the press, he said, I had no idea he was getting raided. But where were you guys when they raided my home? They went through to my child's room, through my wife's drawers. Where were you guys? Where was the outcry for this illegal raiding? No, you guys were satisfied. You were excited. You were over there making your marshmallows with some Hershey's chocolate, making s'mores with some honey graham crackers, and celebrating to have a nice picnic on Donald Trump's misery. But now they do it to somebody else, and now you want to criticize these raids. The withdrawal of Bolton's security detail and the classified document investigation are viewed by Bolton and others as direct acts of retaliation. Now let's get back. No, Omar. Bolton was told, you're fired. Now to the real article that I want to read to you. And this comes from MSN. I believe the Tag 24 News made this article. Story by Ray Harris. FBI makes big discovery at former Trump advisor John Bolton's D.C. office. No, Rawlings, I'm speaking in Japanese. I'm glad that you can understand. The Rick says Dennis is a YouTube bomb that thinks he is cool, but in fact, it's just a waterhead. A waterhead. I never heard that, but all right, thank you. All right, so Washington, D.C., let's get into it. Court records recently obtained by Politico claim that during the raid on August 22nd, agents uncovered multiple documents marked as classified and secret. Wait a minute. So President Trump, which has the right, the authority to declassified, secret, and classified documents, got raided, got in trouble, got criticized, got thrown under the bus. Biden, no, don't do that. and then this guy, he's not the president. He's not the vice president. And let's be clear, the vice president cannot declassify documents. So if Obama gave them to him and said, hey, I declassify these documents, take him, Biden, then Obama needs to be investigated as well. But here we are. A guy that got fired from the Federal Bureau of Investigation has classified and secret documents in his house, personal house. Go ahead, all these smart people in here that keep calling me names, explain that one to me. Hey, what's going on, James? Thanks for joining the chat. Oh man, so much silent. Where at least throw some type of insult so that I know that you understood the question. Go ahead, give me some input about these three things that we just pointed out. I'm giving you crazy lefties some room to be able to give me some insight that can enlighten me and make me think different. Come on, give me something. Let's see. Greetings, Orthodox, Christians, Catholics, and everyone who believes in Jesus from Russia with love. We must stick together. We're also sad about Kirk here. He was a great guy. Big Playing Games. Welcome, brother. Welcome to the chat. And yes, you are welcome. Wolfie, no, that's not an answer. Monkey Juice says, that's nonsense. Trump brought home boxes. Please. You can even take out a napkin with the presidential seal on it. Okay. Okay, so what excuse does Biden and John have for this type of behavior? What should be the punishment for this former FBI? And let's be clear, it wasn't Donald Trump. He mentioned stuff in his book that got the attention of the FBI. And that's why he's in trouble. And that's why they raided his house, in case you were not paying attention. And they found those files. Trinity, keep coming back. Dennis doesn't have. Well, apparently John Bolton didn't have the Epstein files either. Can't even pronounce Azerbaijan, let alone end a war there. What a joke. Cypher, I am sure I can correct your English at some point. Stop judging the man for mispronouncing acetaminophen. I said the Tylenol thing. You know the thing. Let's not forget that Biden couldn't tell us that we were all created by the thing. You know the thing. Acetaminophen. Yes, thank you, Junior. It's spelled Epstein. We know. Is that the speaker?
Probably.
Let me see it, please. Let's see. So causes autism. I have to be careful with the study because we have had we have had studies for 25 or 27 years about this Tylenol so that it could be sold. Now, I know this because a coworker told me, look at that, I got my Bluetooth speaker so I can play you guys sound from videos when I'm talking about them. So here's the thing. Let's see, did you inject bleach during COVID? If you took that as a serious advice, you are a beta. I can pronounce Azerbaijan. Yes. Is that how you pronounce it, by the way? Is that how you say it? Azerbaijan. I think he confused the name with another name. That's why. But listen, we are Westerners. That's not a name that we have in our vocabulary. People mispronounce my name all the time. I don't get mad at them. I just accept it because you can't pronounce everybody's name correctly all the time. With that being said, if that is all you have on President Donald Trump, that is weak. But I'm still waiting for an answer. All right, let's continue reading since you guys don't know what the hell you are talking about. All right, so the same day as the office search, agents also raided Bolton's Maryland home, but did not find additional documents there. In both raids, which were conducted in accordance with search warrants issued by the Department of Justice, not President Donald Trump, agents, confiscated a number of electronic devices. Sounds fishy. Let's see what happens. Bolton served as National Security Advisor during Trump's first term from 2018 to 2019, but has since become a fervent critic of his former boss, who has repeatedly argued he is unfit to be president. Now, him giving that comment right there, we voted for President Donald Trump. What I expect. Now, if you expect something different, I get it. I get it. We voted for President Donald Trump. Let's say I voted for President Donald Trump. I expect him, I voted for him. I expect him to fire everybody in that administration if they don't stand for the American people. With that being said, I trust my president that I voted for 100%. I didn't trust Biden, but he was my president for 4 years, and I put up with it. So today I tell you, put up with my president, which also is your president. With that being said, I expect my president to do the job that we ask him to do. And in order for him to get that job done, he needs to have the right people in the administration. Will they be perfect? No. Will they be fired? You better believe they'll get fired. So when CNN or MSN or any other legacy media wants to put some negative comments out there about President Trump, these high-level workers being fired, another high-level security guy is leaving the administration, blah, blah, blah. We don't care. If you're not doing your job, you get fired. As simple as that. And I wish that we can fire our governor here in Washington State. Let's continue. It says, in 2020, Bolton published a highly critical tell-all book titled The Room Where It Happened. That sounds kind of creepy, to be honest. Legal efforts to block its releases for allegedly containing classified information were eventually dropped when Joe Biden replaced Trump as president. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even read this article all the way. Isn't that interesting? This is for you leftist crazies in here hating on me right now for giving you some truth. I know the American patriots are happy, celebrating, supporting that this news is actually out there. Right. So it is allegedly, because it's still under investigation, I'm assuming. Right. So what do they say? And what do they do about it? Right. Well, they raided because the highly critical tell-all book titled The Room Where It Happened said a bunch of stuff that was classified and it was secret. Nobody should know. Well, he decided to make a novel with all those classified and secret documents, put some of that information in his book. I don't want to read it, is what I understand. But how beautiful is that right there? That's a lot in one sentence. And then it has a handwriting notes in here, travel memo documents with pages I can't read this cursive. Labeled secret. U.S. mission to the United Nations. Confidential documents. U.S. government strategies. Strategy. Communi. I don't know what that is. Maybe communications plan. Confidential. It looks like donuts, but I think it's documents. Confidential documents with black heading, where a must destination classified down, whatever. So that is cursive writing on a piece of document that they share as part of the secret confidential documents that we were talking about. When asked about the race, Trump said he was not a fan of Bolton's, adding, he's sort of a lowlife and a very quiet person, except on television if he can say something bad about Trump. And I agree with him, and that is actually the news that I have for you today. That is the end of my live. Now I'm going to give you guys a chance to ask me some questions. I think that the leftists in this room, somehow the keyboard broke because they couldn't answer the question here. I agree, Wayne. Pathetic. Hypocrite. Says Dodge. Dodge MF. Beta. Tells the story. Okay, this is crazy. Now, I don't know what the effect is called. All right, but here it goes. I'm sure I'm going to have some fun, happy stories someday. I think I have one or two, maybe. All right, this one, I was about 9 or almost 10 years old. I was between 9 and 10 years old. There is a day that we celebrate in Honduras, and it's called Children's Day. Is there such thing here in the States? No, right? I don't think so. So we have this thing called Children's Day. Now, the big deal about this day is that back then, in the 80s, was it early 80s? Yeah, early 80s. They had this thing with Pepsi, Coke, companies as such, and they would have like big pools of like ice with sodas and all this stuff, right? Now, you guys got to remember that we were so poor. Whenever I would go outside playing, I had no shoes. I had these little red shorts that I used to wear all the time. I didn't have a shirt. And the only necklace that I had was made out of dirt in between the creases of my neck. So with that being said, for Children's Day, they said that if you took your child there, they will have a free toy of their choice. And they have cars. It was cheap toys, like plastic cars. But they have cars, they had action figures, etc. So my older brother, which was already, I think he was already married, and he had a son. He told me to come home after church, right? He didn't go to church. I did. And I walked to church, which was about a mile away from where we live. So I walked to church. He said, come back home after church, and we're going to go to the stadium, and then we're going to go ahead and celebrate Children's Day, right? So church is over. I remember Sunday school was so happy for me. I was so excited. I walked home, and then I ran half of the way there, and I went and combed my hair, and make sure I changed my shirt so that I look nice. And then when I get out of showering and getting dressed up, I'm looking for my brother, and I don't see the truck. And I'm like, well, where's the truck? I'm looking for my brother. And I'm just like, man, he said to come here right after church, and a couple of hours went by. Well, the stadium is about 5 miles away or so, maybe more, maybe less. And so I was like, you know what? It's getting late. I'm not going to get a toy. I got to go. And so I took off and I started walking, not even a bus because I had no money, right? So I started walking, and I walk and walk and walk, and I get there, and I get to the stadium, and I'm like, where's the door? Like everything is locked. That normally the booths, right, where the tickets, they sell the tickets, they're open, and people give you information, but there was nobody. It was so late in the afternoon, by the way. It was almost getting dark. And so, man, I walk around the whole stadium, and then I saw this double gate that was kind of cracked open. And I was like, well, here it is. And I go in there, and just imagine yourself coming out of the pit hole, right, into the stadium, and then you look out, and the stadium just gets huge. I don't know what that type of effect is called. I don't have it on the top of my brain right now. And I looked, and there was no people. There was a couple of people up at the top, very top of the stadium. All there was gift wraps, garbage all over. There was the empty containers. All the prices that they were giving away to kids, all finished. And I was crying. I was feeling so alone at that age, guys. It was crazy. And I went back home, sad, very sad. And then I see my brother with his wife, and he took his wife's cousins and her little brother to that stadium. And by the way, they got their toys. He didn't bring anything for me, not even a marble. So that's my story for today. Children's Day was not the happiest day for me that day, I'll tell you that right now. But I did have a great service at my Sunday school class. So that's all I got for you guys today. You guys have any comments, questions, concerns? 2.2 million new Republicans registered voters, and 2.4 million Democrats switched to Republican. Man, we got some patriots. We got some patriots. Oh no, I just left a right-wing chat. That's good. That was good. That was good. God is always good, Miguel. Always good. Regardless of how sad that story was for Children's Day, it reminded me of something that, you know how some people, and this is the moral of the story, okay? Some people suffer so much in their life that they project that resentment and that anger amongst other people, upon other people. But then, for some reason, what I have gathered, what I've learned, is I know how it feels to have a broken heart. I know how a child feels to be disappointed when an adult promises something to them. You see, even though my brother beat the crap out of me and physically abused me to the point where I couldn't walk anymore, him promising me that he would take me there erased everything. And when he broke my heart by breaking that promise, it reminded me of all the evil and harm that he caused in my life. And somehow, even that did not turn me into a bad guy. Even that actually makes me realize that what we say, we should keep. Now, when I tell my kids that I want to go do something with them, it's not a promise. We're going to find out if we are able to do this, and then we'll do it if the opportunity presents itself. But if I say I promise, I'm going, and I got to do it. That is not a let's see what happens. You know, my daughter, I told her yesterday, all right, we didn't go swimming today because Daddy's very tired. But I said, I promise tomorrow, Wednesday, if you want to go, let's go. So you guys heard me on this chat in here live. I asked her, do you want to go? She said no. So I'm off the hook. And so for tonight, I'm very hot. My wife turned off my fan. I don't have AC, and I am dying with this cotton shirt on. But I want to say I love you guys so much for your support. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for the subscribes. I will. I don't want to promise. It's so hard for me to do a live in the morning, guys. Tomorrow is a workout day. So if I have time, I will do a live in the morning to kind of give a little update on what we talked about today, or if something new has happened. Guys, Miguel, Trinity, love you guys. Omar, love you too, little brother. Hector, thanks for stopping by. Where is Ken? Ken didn't show up today. Paul, God bless you. Guys, everybody in this chat, whether you like me or not, it doesn't matter. God bless you. God bless your family. And I hope that you all are doing well and that you guys may all have peace in your home. And with that being said, you all have a good night.
God bless America.
God bless America, baby. You know it.